Hello and welcome to Mindful Parenting series. And today we are going to talk about 3 common mistakes that new parents make. And I stress the word new because those that already get their second, third, fourth, fifth baby don't make those mistakes. Or at least they already understood from experience that it doesn't work. So the first thing is that new parents think that they need to have room for their new baby. And it's often, we can often see it in movies that when a baby is coming to the family, the new parents are preparing the room and they buy the new crib, and it's also cute and it looks like, you have a little sun as a wallpaper and clouds and cute elephants or whatever it is. When you get a little baby, the last thing they want is to go and sleep somewhere else and not with you. So when a child is little, and sometimes when the child is not so little, they still want to be close to you, and it's understandable because they feel safe, they feel secure, they feel comforted, they sleep better. And if you can sleep with your baby in the same bed, it's even better co-sleeping. If you feel that it's unsafe for the baby, then you can put the baby right next to you in the little crib. Sometimes it's done that the crib is standing right next to the parent's bed, and then you can nurse at night without running somewhere. The baby is right next to you. And as the baby grows, they want to feel this closeness. They want to hear their mom's breathing at night and maybe even smell her. It gives babies sense of security, and they are way, way, way calmer. I tell you one story about our daughter. So the firstborn, she slept next to me. And then when she was about 10 months old, we fell for that she needs to be in her own room. And we got her a nice cute bed and we put her there. And the nights were just horrible. Every night she would wake up in the middle of the night. She would make everything for me to take her to our bed. And at some stage, my husband and me decided to just take her to our bed and just to sleep with us. First, we tried to put her in our bedroom, in her own bed, and it didn't work. She would stand in the middle of the night and making lots of sounds for us to take her into our bed. But the moment, and I told my husband, when she grows up, what are we going to remember? How we were fighting with her all night long, or how we had a nice, cozy night and we actually got some sleep? And we took her into our bed. She slept with us, and the nights became just pleasant. She just slept through the night, and it was so nice. And so it was so good. And then I realized that the children don't really want to go away and be in their own room as we got the second baby. So our first born daughter was moved next to us, and the baby was with us in bed. And all of this actually is very well described in the book Continuum Concept. It's a very, very interesting book. I read this book when I was pregnant, but I guess I forgot some parts. So I remembered some parts and I forgot some parts. And then I read it again and I realized, okay, I forgot that part. You shouldn't push your child away from you because they need this closeness. It's not only that they feel safer, it's like the trust, the relationship, overall well-being of a child. They have less nightmares when they sleep with you. So our story, at some stage we were sleeping, it was during COVID, so I don't know why the kids were scared to sleep by themselves or something. So they all moved into our bedroom, and we were sleeping with 4 of our kids. We put their beds there, and they were just sleeping with us, and it was fun. The older would read to the younger ones before bed, and they all felt safe and they were together. And the funniest thing is, like, you know, some people can have a very big house and every child has a room and a lot of space, but the children always want to be where the adults are. And it doesn't matter how big your house is. If you are in the living room, your kids will be always next to you. Okay, sometimes they go to their place, they go to their room, but if you tell them frequently, like, go to your room, play in your room, they don't want it. They want to be next to you. They want to be next to their parents, where the action is. They think the action is there. They observe us, adults, and they want to learn from us, and they want to be there. At least when they're little, and as they grow, of course, they need their space and they want to be alone sometimes, but often they want to be just right next to us. And it's very funny. It doesn't matter how many bedrooms you have in your house, the kids are always will be around you. So the second mistake or misunderstanding usually happens when a couple gets a new baby and they have no idea. So everything is around the baby, which is correct. The baby is the center of attention, and it's true. You need to fulfill every need of your baby. You are there to care. That's correct. That's very correct. But the thing is that in our society, we live in a kind of isolated, we have those nuclear families. Yeah, we don't live together anymore with grandparents and aunties and uncles. The modern family, usually we all live alone. So everything becomes around the baby. So imagine there is a big family and there is a newcomer, a baby. Then the baby kind of has to fit into the life. For example, we have friends and they just got their 5th baby. So the baby just there, kind of, they need to feed him, of course, change him, to care, but the life around the baby doesn't stop. And this is very important for the baby to observe that the adults, the children around, they're all busy with their life, that not every movement the baby makes is a big event. The babies don't want to be in the spotlight. They want to be cared for, they want to be heard, but they don't want to be in the spotlight, and everything is about the baby. And then the third mistake that comes out of the second one, it's overprotecting the baby. So the baby is overprotected. Everybody's tiptoeing around, no loud noise. And I had the same problem when I had my firstborn, my daughter. I didn't allow anybody to talk loudly around her, and everything had to be calm, and everything had to be. I was really hardly breathing around her. So this overprotecting happens usually with the firstborn, but as you get many more children, it goes away. But the thing is that, so what happens is, mothers and fathers or grandmothers stop trusting the child. So the child is overly protected. No sharp corners. Don't touch the glass, take the plastic because you can break it and you cut yourself. Don't touch the knife. But all of those things are part of our life, and in a way we lose the trust. So it is important to trust our children that they can survive in this environment. You have to be reasonable. Of course, you shouldn't put the baby next to an open fire or things like that. But when you give a child to use a glass to drink, then it's actually good for the child to learn that the glass can break. And if it breaks, nothing really happens, so you help to clean this glass. What I'm saying is to trust your child more and to make the child less the center of attention. So the children integrate into the life and they learn to use equipment. And if the stove is hot and the child touches the stove, the child hot, and they learn. Because if you protect everything all the time, it's like a sterile environment. They don't learn anything, and then as they grow up, they cannot be only in the safe space. It's good for them to learn, of course, in a reasonable way. You shouldn't create dangerous situations or on purpose push them somewhere. But it's also is written in this book, Continuum Concept, that children in tribes, younger children would go with older children to, for example, the edge of the cliff, but they will not fall from the cliff because they actually have the survival instinct. And in today's world, we don't even have playgrounds almost that are like super protective. How did we survive? I don't know. When I was a child, we never had those, fences, nothing. We were just playing and we survived. Of course, there are accidents and you have to be careful and you have to, watch out. You should be reasonable. There are dangerous situations and you have to protect your child, but it's very important for the child to experience. For example, if you have a 3-year-old and you want him or her to cut fruits, give them a real knife, maybe not sharp, maybe just butter knife, okay? I'm not saying you give them sharp knives. Give them a butter knife that they cannot cut themselves, but something real, not just a plastic one. And the plastic actually can cut as much as metal knife, but just trust them with real things, because they want to be trusted, and that's how they grow up. And that's what happens. They become the center of attention. They become overly protected, so they become those little stars that cannot do anything, and cannot touch this and they cannot do this, and they have to use plastic plates and cups and plastic knives in order not to hurt themselves. And it's important for children to use real things, of course, with the supervision of the adult. Let the children be integrated in life. And I'm telling you, this book, The Continuum Concept, is explaining about all of this so nicely. I really, really recommend it. So I think as we grow up with our children, of course, we learn some things. And as we look back, we say, oh my God, why did I do that? Or why didn't I know that earlier? So this book would be really, really helpful for those who are pregnant, who have young children, who want to grow their family, have more children. And it's interesting when you see couples with many children, as if naturally they know all of this, because they go through the motion. Like the baby sleeps better when you put the baby next to you. It is nicer when the toys are in the living room next to you. For example, we have a kitchen, like a toy kitchen for our daughter, right next to our sofa in the living room, because she then can participate in the life, family life. She can listen to what we are talking about. She can be with us. At the same time, she can play. She's not playing in her room. She's playing next to us. And then they can draw. They have a little table. Now my kids are getting older, so they're sitting on a dining table when they want to do something, but they love being around their parents. So I hope this video was interesting and helpful. And again, I'm saying, be reasonable. Don't put your children in the danger just for fun of it or whatever. Be reasonable, but also let them experience life, because they appreciate it. They appreciate when they feel like they're capable, they can do something. All right, so if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, or you can share your experiences, I will be happy to hear from you. Leave a comment below. And if you want the Continuum Concept, I will leave the link below too. So enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon.